Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Renee with Delaney Jane Cards. Today we'll be making this Panda Bear card. It's a die cut card. I lay out all my dies usually so I have an idea where my card's going, and that's what I was doing here, and picking which papers I was cutting for which layers. I used several companies, dies, whatever I had in my stash. I think my favorite thing, Sam's Stamp. Pretty sure there's a Nellie's die in there, Gina Marie die. Anyway, I was cutting out each layer and setting them up. Here, this cupcake layer, I wanted to use the backside for this banner, so I made sure I had all that ready to go. And that blue piece there is my background layer, but I wanted to cut that circle out because you won't see that anyway. And then this will be my sentiment banner. I'm using the opposite side of the plaid pattern. And this tiny little bow die is, I believe it's my favorite things. It is, I believe, retired, but Mama Elephant has a very similar one. I just really like that one. So here I'm just kind of laying out all of my pieces that I die cut off screen, making sure that I have everything. I usually like to add layers of regular colored cardstock to my pattern paper layers, but I was sort of channeling Christy with Christy Gets Crafty and Amy Rasavi from Prairie Paper and Ink, the old videos where she would pair all the pattern paper up. I was trying to be them. So I got all my pieces die cut here, and I used a paintbrush just to stretch the fibers of the paper on this bow because I wanted it to end up round, not flat. Although that's a cute look too, but this is what I was looking for. And that's the little like band that goes around the bow. Wanted to make sure that that was all creased where it was supposed to be. I used my Arts Glitter Glue here to put my bow together and my tweezers to hold it while it was drying. And here I have my pieces of my Panda Bear. I think they're called the picture book animals. And I took the outside of my bear here and I taped it down with a piece of white cardstock underneath. I'm going to build my bear on that white cardstock, but this way I have that frame to work inside. And I was just finding all the right pieces, cut it out of white and black. So I wanted to make sure I had all the right pieces ready to go. I took everything back off there, and I'm thinking I added glue. Yep, I added glue to that background piece so I could stick everything down. And that's that flocking sheet. The stamp set, or well, I'm not using the stamp set in this one, but the pattern papers and this die and the stamp set that I used for the sentiment, those all came out of the Simon Says Stamp card kit. Now normally I don't get the card kits, but I saw this one had some fun stuff in it, and I really like this Panda Bear, the stamp set that came with this. So I ordered it. But this is those new flocking sheets, and I've tried a couple of experiments with them to see if I can get them to work other ways, but in the end I just ended up die cutting this and getting a fuzzy panda. I seen Amy Rasavi used Google Eyes on her Panda Bear, and I may go back and add Google Eyes on this Panda Bear because that would be really fun. So this blue circle is actually a die from Gina Marie Designs. She has some of the coolest edges on her dies. And I was just poking out all the little holes of this, making sure that, nothing was stuck in there. It does die cut wonderfully, and I never really have any trouble. It just sticks in there. I could use my little roller brush tool to get them out, but that pokey tool was just fine. So this is the only stamp on the entire card, and it just says happy birthday. It is from the stamp set that comes with the card kit. I'm sure that they allow you to purchase that separately after a little while. I think it's a month or two. So I just stamped this on this really finely patterned pattern paper. It's got a yellow and white stripe kind of at an angle. I just thought instead of incorporating a white banner for my sentiment, I could just use pattern paper, and I think it worked out fine. So here I'm layering up all my layers, my pattern paper layers, And these do go beautifully together. I believe they're Doodlebug Designs paper that came in this kit. And I was gonna mark this banner where I wanted it, but then I figured I could just put it down and cut it with my scissors. That way I wouldn't have a mark on there and be wrong. I did make sure I cut some little tiny pieces for the flag ends of this banner so that it wouldn't smoosh down when I mailed it. And here is where my putting the liquid adhesive on the foam tape is really important, because I put this down wrong. See? It's hanging off the bottom. And then I was like, oh, no, that's not going to work. So then I moved it to the right place. And here I flipped it over and cut it off. Just adhered my white circle to my blue circle. And then I made sure that I put foam tape on the edges where it would hang over that banner so that everything would be even. And here I'm deciding exactly where everything is going to lay. And I put this piece of foam tape on this end, and I should have put a piece on the other end. You'll see I tuck one in after I get it glued down because I didn't apparently realize what I was doing. I used my little pokey tool. This is not the traditional card making pokey tool. I think that one's from a sewing machine, or a seamstress might use it. In my previous life, that was from my mother-in-law. So were those green scissors there. And I probably will never change them out because they mean something to me. That orange handled Fiskars that I use too, that's from my current husband, that's his mother. Those were hers, and since they've both passed away, both mother-in-laws, those things are super important to me. So here I just stuck down my fuzzy panda bear, and then I picked out some sequins that I thought would coordinate with the papers. I did cut out a bunch of me pulling out different ones and seeing if they coordinated well enough, but this set of sequins seemed to coordinate nicely, so I did pull out a few of them. They're like orangey and blue and iridescent. They were kind of fun. Got them all laid out there, and I don't know, I mean, I know that there's like the triangle rule or the odd numbers rule, or I try to follow those rules, but sometimes it doesn't work that way. Sometimes I just think it needs one more or several more. So here I'm putting them down. This quick sticks that I have here, I've had forever. When I first got it, I had no idea what it even was or how to use it. And I like twisted the thing and squirted out all the putty that's in there. Well, a lot of the putty, before I realized what was going on. And I sometimes misplace that clear end, which is what you use to like stick everything down to hold it down. So I don't always reach for this quick sticks, but there is my card for today. All die cuts except one stamped image. Here's some beautiful pictures of this card at the end here. Thank you for stopping by. I would love to hear what you have to say, and I would appreciate it if you would subscribe. Thank you.